everyone. This is Liliana, and this is Happiness Delivered, a podcast about knitting. I'm the dyer behind ParcelFiberCo, and a lot of the yarns that I will talk about will probably be mine, mostly because life updates. So I'll save this for a bit. If you're new here, I've already told you who I am, but if you're a returning viewer, then hello again, because it has been a long time since I did a podcast. So in fact, I don't even know when the last time was that I recorded a podcast, because there have been many days where I was like, I'm gonna do it today, and then something has come up and like put the kibosh on that, and people have come home. You get it. Gets noisy, interrupting, dogs, you get it. But anyways, so it has been ages since I did this podcast thing, and I almost feel like there's been so much life happening that to give you a proper update is gonna take a little time. So I can't even go back to the old way of podcasting, mostly because it didn't feel that authentic to me. I'm more of a conversationalist, flowy kind of podcaster, communicator. What word would you use? Anyways, I'll probably start again. I'm a little rusty. Okay, so first things first. The hair's looking good today. Yes, let's start with a little validation, self-validation here before we get moving. Anyhow, long story, short story, quick version. I can't really do any of those. How about I lead with who I am and where I've been, what I've been doing, and what's on the horizons. Okay, so I'll probably splice and dice this because tangents. So my name's Liliana. I'm the dyer behind ParcelFiberCo. Up until recently, I was working my main primary gig in cybersecurity, and I've been in tech for, gosh, over 30 years. It seems like, wait, 30? I'm 45. So no, I was not working in tech at the age of 15. But anyways, so 20 something years in tech and corporate specifically. And I had just gotten so busy, and it seemed like that was not slowing down. And I had been feeling the gravitational pull towards my creative side more and more. Not because where I was at was any worse than any other kind of corporate environment, but it certainly was not one that was leaving me feeling replenished at the end of the day. What I have found is that the part of technology that always got my interest was the curiosity, the figuring it out, the analytical aspect, and then coupled with just relationships, building relationships, new people, new topics, new insights, and just a constant state of learning. And I feel like it benefited me for sure. Like, I spent a lot of time kind of learning about myself, figuring out how much I didn't know I knew, how much capacity I had to learn and absorb information, how capable I was. And so while feeling completely not overwhelmed, because I was managing through my days fine, but I was being left kind of feeling a little bit depleted and not having a lot of mental energy for anyone else. And so I have a daughter who's 9, and obviously she wants some of my time at the end of the day too. And she was definitely not getting like the best of me, because it's like I just need 5 minutes of silence. It's a concept kids don't get. But anyways, so long story short, I'm going to say that, but I'm actually not going to do that at all. It's going to be long story long, and that is your final warning. So this year, I had an opportunity to meet a client, and you know, it so happened that one of my client contacts was a knitter. So I had the opportunity to go across town to a conference they were attending, and meet up with them, and it was beyond lovely. I won't think about it too much. I might get a little weepy, but yeah. So I remember we were at dinner, and we were talking about this, the dyeing of the yarn, the crafting hobby, the different interests, the creative pursuits, and I kind of alluded to like, I just have so many things I want to do, creative ideas, obviously the yarn, making things, creating, and I don't have any bandwidth for any of that at the end of the day. I'm just depleted, and it's not the energy that leads to creative juices, at least not for me. So he said something to me that changed everything. He asked me a question. He said, well, why don't you quit? What? For starters, it's a little shocking to hear your customers say that, because you're like, you do realize that if I quit, I won't be around to help you, and you'll have to work with somebody else, right? So are you trying to get rid of me? And also, how do I answer this? Because if I sound all eager, then I don't want to discourage you. My company's great. I'm not rushing out the door. It's not like, oh, I can't wait to leave here, but you stay, it's great. You just keep plugging along, it's wonderful. Like, how do you answer that? And so I think at the time I just left it like, oh, I don't really know. I don't know, maybe, who knows, we'll see. But what was happening under the surface for me was that I was forced to face that question that he asked, why don't you? And the bottom line was, to a degree, that perhaps I was afraid that I wasn't going to be able to support myself, and that I wasn't going to make it, that it wasn't going to be successful, that I'd failed, whatever the worry brain and the fear-based brain, dialogue is. So I didn't spend too much time on that thought that day, that next day. But the very next day, I got a call, and I don't believe in coincidences. So I got this call while at the conference. It was a voicemail. And then I had gotten invited to have a trunk show at a local yarn shop during the yarn crawl. And it wasn't until sometime later that I was like, interesting. So I get asked, why don't I quit? Then I get an opportunity that I haven't had before. Okay, I think I'm listening. Universe, I'm listening. So I fast forward to March, because this is earlier this year. The story begins in January. So in January, I have this conversation with the client. In March is this trunk show. And mind you, things are busy. Like, I'm getting a couple new accounts. I'm just juggling. Like, I'm not dying as much as I want to be, but once I've got the trunk show to plan for, and yarn crawl, I'm hustling away on the weekends, and I go into this trunk show with the idea of like, I'm not gonna make my future choice depend on how this trunk show goes. Like, it's not a definition of the quality or the work that I've done in dyeing. You know, it's not going to be dependent. My future is not going to be dependent on how this trunk show goes, because I'm just going to assume the best and hope for the best. And so I had a great weekend. It was definitely a pleasant surprise. And someone who doesn't do math is thinking, you know, little calculator in the brain, you know, I think that if I just had more time to invest in this thing that is really sparking my joy, that there's no reason why I couldn't be as successful and make my living doing something that I really love and that brings me a lot of joy, as opposed to the job and lifestyle of working for someone else that I have had. You know, because struggle was not a problem. There are challenges all the time, difficult situations, difficult conversations, different dynamics. So I feel like I had gotten sufficiently prepared for running my own thing and depending on it. I just didn't have the time to invest in it. And all my plans to say, okay, well, maybe if I just bought myself a little more time and waited till the summer and, you know, maybe earned a couple more paychecks between now and then, like, that will help me feel more confident in making that kind of move. But at the end of the day, the thing I was short on was time, not money. And not because I've got it like that, but because I've saved like that. And I mentally have so many things in my head brewing that, like, any of them could be possibilities, you know, income possibilities. What I didn't have at the ready was time to work on them, time to invest my energy in them. And so I ended up, shortly after the crawl, taking some time off and going away, and I just kept getting indications that, hey, this is the path. Like, in case you're doubting it, like, here's your sign, okay? And one of them is kind of trippy to me, but I'll give you the second one, okay? So so I just said, okay, well, I've got my stuff packed up from Yarn Crawl. I haven't listed it again in the inventory, which I still haven't done. She'll need to do that. But, like, I was like, all right, might as well just take a bag of some of my yarn, and maybe I'll pop by a yarn shop near where my friends are and see if there's an opportunity there. And I had a lovely time. I won't name the yarn shop yet because I haven't followed up with them. So, but all that to say that, like, I approached some place that I'd never been with nothing but my bag of yarn. And I swear, if I said, no, you can buy what I've got, they would have taken it. And so, like, that felt good. It was definitely validation that it wasn't a fluke. The success of the yarn call wasn't a fluke. And so then I was just like, well, dang, I love doing this. I can be showing up at anybody's yarn shop and being like, hello, check these things out, you know? Like, so it was just a matter of getting out there doing the thing. But I'll mention this other one because it's so funny to me, and I haven't mentioned it to them yet because I don't really know them that well at all. Maybe a blink. I've met them a moment of time. But so I'm staying with some colleagues up in Georgia, and we're having some ice cream. We're in LEJ, and all of a sudden I hear my friend say, "Doesn't Jimmy's wife dye yarn?" And I'm just like, gosh, I want to, anyways, it's not coming to me right now, but like, so I'm like, you mean, basically, let's just say these friends that are colleagues, were colleagues, are still friends. They used to work with Jimmy from Lola Bean. And I'm just like, oh my God, kids, this is too freaking bizarre. How like a world that's so big, a community that's so big, that has so many different faces in it, you know, that people that I've become close to in an industry that I'm actually leaving have ties to other people in the industry that I'm not walking into, because I've been doing it at a very smaller scale for the past couple of years. But I'm just like, that's great. That's great, because I have wanted to spend a little more time with Adela, mostly because I like her vibes. Reading energy, that's what I do. Anyways, so I'm just like, okay, well, this is just a 3 degrees of separation, 6 degrees. I don't know how many degrees of separations, but it's just kind of, all right, we're closer than we realize to each other. So, Adela, someday I'm gonna catch up with you and tell you the story. In any case, so basically, all the green lights were coming on, right? It's like heading somewhere and nothing but green lights. At least that's how it felt to me. So, so yeah, that's been the last. That was up until March, right? So that all happened up in March. I'm sorry, I'm rattling things on my desk because I'm fidgeting. So that was in March. On April 8th, the day of the solar eclipse, I put in my notes. I said, it's time. Waiting is not going to solve this problem. And yeah, that's all she wrote. So as of now, I'm focusing on yarn, creative activities, creative pursuits, things that bring me joy. And it's been really interesting experience, because I have literally chosen to stand in opposition to the fear and conditioning that says, that's crazy. Are you sure? Don't you think you need to have like some big safety net and nest egg saved up? You know, what about this and what about that? And it's just like, you know, I'm trying to be in the now. The what about this and what about that is a worry about the future. And worrying is not good energy. So what I look back and reflect upon is how everything that I ever thought or worried about, how much of it never came to be. Of the things that actually happened that were not desirable, I took care of them. They were resolved. My life improved. Everything turned out fine. So I'm not giving energy to worrying and negativity. On that note, I am giving a lot of energy to positivity, collaboration, connection, and making and sharing with you. So I know this is like not the quickest and best podcast, but it's just a little snapshot of where I've been at recently, where I hope things to go, and more importantly, or actually I won't say more importantly, just as important is that I'm going to be more present here doing this and sharing with you, and hopefully it's the beginning of a beautiful, long and beautiful friendship. So with that being said, I feel like I'll do a little bit of brief what's on my needles, because I did some impromptu cast-ons right after my last day. And I don't really have any of my whole entire collection of whips around here. I changed offices. I cleaned out the yarn room. And now I'm spending most of my day in here. So basically I don't have put all of my whips and stuff. They're upstairs. But I've got some that I've been working on, so I'll definitely show those to you because. And then coincidentally, it just seems like I have this major love affair going on with Joji and the Grocery Girls. And it's not surprising. Like, I basically started watching knitting podcasts before I even was a knitter. So I'm pretty sure I had been watching Joji for a while. Anyways, so if I'm going to talk about Joji, I should start with the Joji pattern. Where is it? Well, to be fair, I haven't cast it on, so I'll save that one. It's not a whip yet. So I'll start off with this one. It's Traci from the Grocery Girls Parkview hat. And I decided I want to cast on something fun. It's not in my standard colors, which are green, in case you haven't noticed. Green for life. I have something itchy in my eye. So Parkview hat, and this is my yarn that I dyed up. I dyed this, and it's a mini skein, and I'm almost at a new skein ball. So I had this idea of like, oh, it would be fun to do something that looks like a galaxy. And so I've dyed this, and then I dyed up this mohair with some release the mohair, relief, or resist, I should say, where I didn't dye I left some of the skein undyed in the hopes that we would have a little bit of a star and galaxy effect. And so, I mean, I'm digging it. I think I could have left a little bit more white in here, but at the risk of having an unattractive pooling, I only dyed two skeins of mohair like this. So I'm liking it so far, because you know, because of the stitches fall, like, you don't always get all of the little blank part on the front, and you don't get them consistently. So I'm not sure if I will keep dyeing this or dye it for the shop. We'll see. I do write down all my recipes, so I can always reference what I did and give it another go. But so you'll have to let me know if you like this and like to see it. But yeah, so Parkview hat, and I think I started it over the weekend, Friday maybe, last Friday, a week, and it's living in, because y'all care about these things, in my very naughty, whose is this? Delphina bag that I picked up at Kickapalooza a few years ago. No, yeah, because I didn't go this last year. I heard I missed a lot. Or not, depends how you look at it. Okay, so that's that. And then I also cast on, oh, I forgot to put this in the bag. I also cast on some boot cuffs, and this is a free pattern on Ravelry. I'm going to tell you that I'm going to put the link below, but just know in advance that I will probably forget. It's a cabled boot cuff, and this is in a new colorway that I dyed up this year. It's called Expecting Magic, and I have it on DK, but I don't have any more on fingering, so I'll have to dye some more. But this is a DK boot cuff, and let me get a skein so you can take a look at it in its full glory. Ta-da. See? This becomes this. That's happiness, I think. Let's see. Yeah. I'm like, oh, I should be able to finish this before. Oh yeah. Guess where I'll be going. I'm going to Knit City, Toronto. I'll be there in a few weeks. Man, I am such a shitty podcast. La la la, life, la la la. Oh, some yarn. Oh, I have nothing in my shop and I'm going places, but I'm not telling anybody. I'm brilliant. I'm brilliant. Sorry, birds distract me. Okay, so that's what I've got on the needles in my yarn that are newish. Okay, I have been I've been knitting this thing for like 5 million years. Okay, this is the thing I should be prioritizing, so I actually have something that I can wear up at Knit City. But no, I am pursuing the adventure that is something new. I am chasing the dopamine. Yes, I am. Okay, so this project, we'll call it Slightly Cursed. Why, you say? Well, I rescued it from my cats more than once. It's the Wrap Me Up sweater scarf. This is also my yarn, Parcel yarn. Anyways, so this has been partially blocked at some point. Oh, why, you ask? Oh, because the bag was somewhere and the cat peed on it, and so then I had to wash my project. Yes, don't worry, none of them are allowed in here. You probably heard one meowing earlier. But anyways, so this got recently rescued. Thank you to my knitting friend Vanessa for helping me put my stitches back on, because we are not that good at doing that. So yes, this is Breathless, also Parcel, and I love it. I mean, I don't wear too many pinks, but this is as close to a pinky neutral as you're gonna get without being, hey, I'm pink. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm just not the girliest of girls. I might look like one, but give me those dark, moody colors any day. See? Evidence of the malfunction. And also, yeah, just please rescue me from my cats. So this is literally, I feel like I need to just, I love ribbing, so why can't I just pick this up? Why can't I do it? Give me the dopamine. I'm here. Help me, help you. Anyways, so this isn't even the longest going whip, but yes, this weekend I'm going to show it some love, mostly because you'll hold me accountable for my next podcast and make sure that I got to it. Well, guess what? From that same trip, in that same year when I did things, I should probably stop there. This is 28 minutes of garbage. Not garbage, but you know, meandering thoughts. Oh, okay. Oh, what is in here? Oh yeah. Okay. A bag. Empty bag. This one's also mine. And I'll show you something that I'm gonna knit in somebody else's yarn, because I do like other people's yarn. It's just that Mama needs samples. Okay, this is my Witcher colorway that I still have some of in DK. It's the Jodie Shaw by Joji. Is this the right side? Yeah. So I should get back on this one, but yeah. What am I trying to do? I do not know. Oh yeah, it's the ball. One ball and a two ball. And this one's kind of barfy, but you get it. Anyways, so I love this one too. I mean, y'all can see it, right? The lighting in here is way better unless you get into direct sun. It is that time of day where the sun likes to make its presence known and ruin the footage. Okay. Anyways, you can see it. And this is, I think I said it was the DK. I didn't ever dye this on fingering. Life got busy after season 3 came out. I was praying for an abduction myself. I wanted to escape my life, but so yes, so I have a few skeins of this. I mean, if you love it as much as I do, I'll keep dyeing it, but considering that it's been on DK and I've mostly been selling it in person, so Florida folks are mostly about their socks. Oh, did I mention that? I'm in Florida. Florida man. Who of all of that preventable hot mess. This is also an old project that I just happened to pull out of my office. Guess what? I could have called this the one with the hohi whips because they're all hohi whips. Most, like 90% of my whips are hohis. Which is a testament to how beautiful I find her patterns, obviously, but also that I can't finish anything. All right, I forgot which one this is. When you see it, you'll remind me. Come on, remind me. You're not helping. You'll see it and you'll know. I'm sure you're telling me right now on the screen what this is. Not even in the bag, because that bag, that phone's dead. I can't Google. I cannot Google nothing. Gosh. Let's see. Let's find it on the internet. It's the 3-color Cashmere Cowl. That didn't take so long. Felt like an eternity. 3-color Cashmere Cowl by Joji. And according to Ravelry, I didn't write when I started it, so many moons ago. In any case, this, as you can see, is not finished and also not attached to the yarn because it also ran afoul of the yarn demons. And this is a base I don't carry right now in the shop. It's a silky single, merino single. I have the other skein is somewhere, the one that was in progress before it was spontaneously destroyed. I gave that to my mom forever ago, but like I wasn't gonna untangle it, and I've never seen it again, so I don't think she was untangling it either. So that, what I have, that other skein should be fine. This is the recovered skein of this. This is Coral Way, which I don't have listed right now. And this one is Let's Flamingle. So Hohi train. All aboard. So wait, that's the Hohi train. Let's see, 3-color cashmere cowl, the Jodie Shaw. There's another one that I started forever ago. I'm gonna tell you which one it is. It's not here right now because it's upstairs. It's my oldest of oldest whips. It was the girl from the grocery store. I'm telling you, this love fest that I've got going on here is the real deal. In fact, just the other day, I was watching the Grocery Girls podcast, and you know, my daughter's like, because she thinks having a podcast instantly means you're famous, and like, oh, how many followers do you have? I'm like, lady, it ain't about that. But I was watching. Oh my God, I flex so hard. Thanks, girls. So basically, I was just like, yeah, I've met them. And then I went on my phone and I found like a little selfie I took of us at Rhinebeck, and for like a micron of a second, I was cool with my child, even though it was fleeting. Still lives in my heart forever. Anyhow, before I go, because obviously I'm running out of steam here on things of potential interest. It's hard to carry a whole podcast by yourself when I like the energy of like chit-chatting, and it's just me and that usually comes across as like, woman, don't you need to slow down a little bit? No. So last thing I'll show you is the stuff I've kind of kept to the side for my sale from recent dye activities, I should say. So I don't have any more of this. This is Inner Bloom. I am not sure what I will make with this, other than to at least keep it around till I dye my next batch, so I can make sure I'm sticking to the script. And then I kept a skein of the mohair in the Expecting Magic. But since this was DK, I was like, I don't really want bulky anything for Florida life. And even though I'll be heading up to Canada soon, this won't get finished by then. And it is still not bulky hot weather or bulky anything weather. I'm not a bulky temperature person. I do not temperature regulate. I'm either hot, hotter, or on fire and sweating. Okay. Tangents. Okay. How many times am I gonna say that? Okay, so now that it became a tick. Okay. I got it. Here we go. Let me pull these out. Let me pull all of them out. So my intention was to launch these, but I had the opportunity to sell them and I chose that instead. You understand, of course. Plus, it's a trunk show. Might as well give the folks something that they haven't seen before. So a while ago, I decided that I was gonna implement some dyeing and science, for lack of a better word. So I decided that I was going to treat my yarn with a sound bath. So I decided to soak my yarn in sound treated water. So using the frequencies 963, somebody's coming, don't be loud. 963, I dyed up these yarns. And so it's kind of like a little bit of a fade, if you will. And I love them. So these guys are the 963. And this is the 528 hertz. So like a darker, a speckle, and a lighter one. And I can't wait to see these knitted. So I'm always looking for some sample knitters. I've got one in mind. So I'm going to decide what pattern I would love her to make in these. So if you have suggestions, let me know. But there are actually 9, maybe 12 solfeggio frequencies. So expect more to come. And that's all she wrote. So I will leave that here for now, and I will catch you guys when I actually film a proper podcast. So this might be brought in, this might be completely overwritten by other things. But I just wanted to pop in, share the love, show you what I've been doing, and say thanks. Thanks for being here with me. Life is better together. See ya.